Today we're doing the unthinkable. According to the internet, we are the dumbest people alive because we are more than 10 miles from a repair facility in 3 used Land Rovers. Will we make it home? Will we start on fire? Well, that's what we're going to find out in today's off-road video.
At the cheapest end of the spectrum, we have my personal 2000 Land Rover Discovery 2 that is now on big tires. It's got 33-inch Falcon Wild Peaks. It's got a 4-inch suspension lift. And when I bought it, this was only $3,000.
And that is my personal 2006 Land Rover LR3. Now, it was not quite as affordable at Cases at $4,567. Now it's a lot more expensive because I've got a winch on that puppy. I've got a set of KO2s, a little bit of a suspension lift, rock rails, and I'm ready to hit the trail.
This is a TFL long-term Range Rover. It's a 2017, and it's worth, well, you could probably buy 10 of those for the price of this. It also has probably twice as much horsepower as both of those. And we've modified it with one great thing, and that is, of course, our friends at Falcon sent us these Wild Peak AT trails, which make it more off-road worthy. But unlike these two guys, actually, Tommy, that jacket costs more than your truck.
Yeah. Dad, I don't think you've quite got the point of this. The $45,000 long wheelbase Range Rover is not helping my case that these are fun, affordable, budget off-roaders.
Yeah, but it was 120 new.
Yes, I get that, but it looks a little out of its element next to these 2 square brutes.
It's white.
Okay.
It's in its element. Look, it's white.
You're never going to see it on the trail, which we're going to hit right now. This is Tombstone Hill. We're up here in the Colorado Rockies at over 9,000 feet above sea level, and we got this steep and rocky hill. Doesn't look like much on camera, but there are some good-sized holes and some good-sized rocks hidden underneath that snow, and that snow is what's going to make this hard. Now, there are 2 parts. There's the Truth side to the right and the Dare side, and we're going to see if all 3 vehicles can make it up Truth, and then, of course, Dare.
So we're starting out on Truth, and usually in the summer, this is really, really easy. But it's pretty icy, pretty snowy, and I've got fresh tracks coming up here, so we'll see how we fare. Now, my Falcon Wild Peaks, these are tires I bought with my own money, but I'm pretty excited about them. They are 3-peak snow rated, so they should be pretty decent, and I'm taking it at a easy pace going up the hill. I'm not trying to use momentum in order to get up it. I'm letting the tires and the traction control system here on the Discovery 2 do all the work. And so far, really not a hitch getting up the hill. I can feel the traction control doing its job. So we're definitely getting some amount of wheel spin, but from the driver's seat, it's really hard to tell how much because we're just cruising up. Now let's see how it does on the downhill. And even though I don't need to, I can. And I just have selected my hill descent, but even that has got me going a little quicker than I want to. So I'm deselecting that. I'm going to take over manual control. My hill descent does work on this, but especially through the snow here, I want to be managing my speed. And the way that the traction control works in this is the same way the ABS works. It's a 4-channel ABS system here. So even for an older vehicle, this is actually a pretty nice, reasonably modern system that gives me good traction heading down this relatively steep, snowy hill here. And we're about to the bottom, so no drama so far.
All right, Kate, try Dare. Let's see how it does going up the more articulated part of the course.
This snow does not make things any easier, and we're getting to one of the more articulated sections here. Let's see how we do. Oh, we're getting stopped up a little bit here. I might have to carry just a little momentum into it. Let's see. I might need more momentum than that. It's definitely slick here. I'm gonna have to carry a little speed. See if I can get up this. Oh yeah. So, had to use a bit of momentum, but once I did, no problem whatsoever. Now, right now my Rover's riding a little stiff. because I have this on heavy rate coils that are spec'd for steel bumpers and a winch, and I've got those things on the way, but they're not here yet. So yeah, I'm riding a little bit harsher than I usually would, but no problem. Rover got up just fine.
So the Land Rover LR3, the generation after Cases, is, in my opinion, a far more advanced vehicle. Now I do have a low range here. I'll show you what I got to play with. So check this out. Got the low range. Gonna engage that, but the LR3 was the first vehicle ever to debut terrain response. These different off-road modes that tailor the vehicle to various terrains. So I'm gonna go into the slippery mode, the grass, gravel, snow. That's also going to raise the air suspension, which Case does not have. And I'm hoping what we'll find is that this vehicle will tackle this hill with more sophistication and finesse than what Case did in that Discovery 2. Now, of course, that vehicle has solid axles, body on frame construction. It is proper old school stuff. Whereas this LR3 uses kind of a combination of body on frame and unibody construction. It's just a truly fantastic vehicle. This is genuinely the best vehicle I've ever owned. They're still relatively affordable and arguably the most reliable Land Rover ever made. 2006 through 2009 with the 4.4 V8 is an absolute tank. I know plenty of folks with over 225,000 miles, no trans rebuilds, no engine rebuilds, they just keep on going. And as we cruise up Truth, the big difference between myself and Case is that terrain response and the traction control programming is a lot more sophisticated in this LR3. So you hear this sound, it almost sounds like sneakers in the dryer, but what that is, brakes clamping to force wheels to basically adapt to the terrain. It's kind of simulating a locking differential, which I don't have. It was an option on the LR3, but one that I don't have in this vehicle, but it does such a good job of simulating a locker. Just steady throttle applications. You don't want to be on and off the throttle. Let the computer do its thing. And even though this vehicle is going on 20 years old, the performance is amazing. Now, one thing which is really interesting about this LR3, 2006, it's got its original air springs. And that's another common misconception, is that these air suspensions are terrible, super unreliable. Original air suspension going on nearly 20 years old. So this is where Case got stuck, and I can see underneath the rocks, it's just pure ice, and he had to kind of bomb his way up it. I'm gonna try crawling it, and we're gonna see if this terrain response can work its magic. So I'm applying some throttle here, letting the vehicle try to figure it out. A little stuck here. What if we try like the rock crawl mode? Let's give that a go. At some point, it's hard to overcome ice. It did it! It did it! Oh my god! That was insane! So it changed to the rock crawl mode, which activated some more aggressive brake grab, and it went up that without having to use momentum. Did you see that? No momentum, just had to change the mode and we went up that. That was awesome.
What's the mode you put it in?
I went from the grass, gravel, snow into the rock crawl, and then it really started messing with the traction control, and I just walked right up it.
Yeah, Land Rover / Range Rover does have probably the best terrain modes. They were the one who invented it, and I think they're still like one generation ahead of everybody else.
Now going down the hill, Case had a little bit of a butt clenching moment sliding down this hill. I'm going to use my hill descent control yet again, that's engaged there, and we're just going to see if I can do it with more control. Now these KO2 tires are gripping beautifully, really impressed with the performance in these tires.
Now Tommy and Case really took it easy and crawled up this. But you know what? I'm going to do something different. I'm going to use all 510 horsepower, and I'm just going to fly up this. Oh yeah! Yeah, that's the way you do it. The so-called Nathan method works like a charm. Now that was fun. Why not use momentum when you can? The boys have, you know, least expensive vehicle here. I've got the most expensive, but that doesn't mean I'm going to have the least amount of fun. These things are much more rugged than you think. Hey, I think I won. It's a race. I got up there the fastest.
It's not a race.
I beat both of you guys.
Dumb. You could have broken something.
I won. Thought we were racing. All right, this next one I won't go up so fast. We'll see how it does. Now both Case and Tommy had to do kind of one take with momentum to try to get up here. I'm just going to use a little bit of speed and see how this guy does. I'm not going to screw around with waiting. I'm just going to go straight up. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. No problem whatsoever. Just stay in it, Roman. Stay in it. It'll figure it out. It'll figure it out. Of course it'll figure it out. That's what Range Rovers do. They figure it out. Yeah. Hey, Tommy, I think I won again.
How do you think Ashley would have felt seeing you drive her beloved Range Rover that way?
I think Ashley would have swooned to see her truck being used the way it's supposed to be used.
I don't know. Something tells me Ashley would have been hurt to her very core to see her Range Rover abused in such a manner.
Yeah, by the way, Ashley, we believe, was the previous owner of this Range Rover because her name was in the phone book multiple times. Look, Ashley would have been over the moon to see that, you know, this can be used for more than just ferrying kids to school. You know, Tommy, in America, these Land Rovers and Range Rovers have a reputation that they're delicate wallflowers, right? That if you sneeze too hard, they break. But in the UK, they're actually tractors. People use them as farm brakes. So I wanted to prove that, you know, throw some smaller wheels and some bigger tires, take it off-road, and you've got a really great, capable off-roader that's much more rugged than people think.
And pretty cheap, right, Case?
Yeah, I mean, for $3,000, I'm pretty happy with the performance on the Disco. And you can totally bring these out here into the mountains and have a bunch of fun with them.
And look, there's not a Toyota to be seen. Will we make it back to town? It's a whopping 13 miles. We'll let you know how many check engine lights we get down at the bottom, but as always, this has been Tommy.
And Roman saying, good thing you got a winch, Tommy. We may have to winch ourselves home.
We may need it to. We'll see you on the next one.
Ciao.